Welcome, everybody, to Looking Ahead, the Rhino Power Hour with Ryan Hughes. That's me.
Last week, we were talking here in the studio, and I posed a question at you, and I said, if you were running all of Pro Motocross and it was all just everything was you, how would you run it?
I wouldn't run it so much differently than they're doing it. I think they do a good job with, the schedule and this and how it is. I mean, that's not needing to be changed. I think just what needs to be changed is, maybe where the money is allocated to, a little bit more support for the riders, maybe almost like a riders union,
Okay.
stuff like that, bigger purses. I would definitely maybe take a few races out to limit it because we're adding races to the most dangerous sport on earth. And so that's not the smartest thing to do is add more danger to what's already dangerous and to give these guys a little bit of a break because, these guys don't care about the riders once they're done. And so another thing I would do is make sure that there's something for the riders to have when they're done racing.
Okay.
A retirement program, a way to invest while you're racing, having something where all your riders, okay, every year you can put this much money into it, and then at the end, when you're done with your career, you get this payout type of thing. Have something for when you're done, when the system is done with their riders. Maybe you have something to give to them instead of just throwing them in the trash can. Because they really don't care. The system doesn't care. And they're just waiting for the next guy to come to be able to make them more money. But, those guys that already went through it, they're the ones that have padded your pockets. So why not give a little bit back to that? So, like I say, less races possibly, bigger purses, put the money where it should be. Maybe not even in the top 10. Don't put the money in the top 10, put the money from 11 down.
Okay.
Because those guys that have to pay for it. The top 10 guys don't really need a purse of even $10,000. They're making enough money. Yes, is it cool to make $10,000? Of course. But, the guys below that would need that money more. And I think the top guys would be okay with it, right? Because they have friends, they have people that are coming in trucks and vans and paying for all their stuff. Then something with retirement. There's so much stuff on getting people into the sport. We'll get you into the sport so we can make a bunch of money off you. But then once you're done, then we don't give a shit about you. You're just like a dirty tear-off, And so I would definitely have something that way. I was going to say something, but now I see that they're doing it as a women's series.
Okay.
Now that really made me mad when the system took that out. You know what I mean? The women bring a lot to the sport. The women have the passion that men do. The women are invested in it and have the love that the man does too. Yeah, maybe they're not as fast and maybe it's not as exciting, but they still need the opportunity to perform their passion. And it doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't matter how good you are. You have the same experience and the same joy I do, just at a different level, or the top guys do. So, but I see that they have a few rounds with that, and that's cool. Congratulations to the system that they put the woman races back on, so we can give these girls that love the sport and that are risking themselves kind of an avenue to make something out of it. You know what I mean? So for the last 5 years or longer, there's nothing for these women to get out of except just going to that one big race in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Loretta Lynn's race?
That one big race in Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention names anymore.
Okay.
It's just,
Okay.
I can talk about whatever I want to talk about and say one thing, but nobody can get mad at me if I don't mention names.
100%.
So the system.
100%.
Right? And so, like I say, they're not doing a bad thing, but I think they're also maybe suffocating it just so the system can keep that dollar amount coming in every year. Hey, we don't care. We don't want to grow because we're already making enough money, and that money, just keeps growing. But I feel that a big organization needs to come in, kind of like like we talked about, what bought F1 and MotoGP.
Okay.
Come in and take the series and go, hey, let's actually make this popular. Hey, let's make this in front of everybody instead of just we made our money and we don't want it to grow, because if we make it grow, then we might have to do more or maybe get bought out. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, but the sport should be bigger than it is.
Got it.
Truly, it should be.
So elaborate a little bit just for a second here, because you mentioned something that really keyed in with me with the throwing away the riders after they're done with them. And the NFL got in trouble with this. I think back into the 1960s and the 1970s with the NFL.
Yeah.
And a lot of players had concussions, they had, medical issues, they had lifelong problems after their seasons were over.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL finally got into a big amount of heat because then they were starting to take the likenesses of those legendary players and they were putting them into video games and repositioning them, so on and so forth. So, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because of two things you said today. Number one, this is the most dangerous sport.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Out of all the sports that are out there.
Yeah, by far.
MMA. Where would you put MMA in the top 5 of danger?
Where would I put that?
Yeah.
I'd say, let's say motocross is first, sport-wise.
Okay.
Maybe there's something I don't know out sport-wise, but I'd say motocross first. I would have to see, maybe, bull riding would possibly be second, just because you're dealing with a massive, massive animal with more power than a motorcycle. And you're going to crash every time because you get thrown off it.
Yep.
But 8 seconds, that's it, and the ground's flat, and so that would be second, I guess. And I guess life, long term, MMA would be up there because they're constantly getting beat in the head.
Yeah.
But you have a referee to stop instantly. Right when you see your eyes roll back in the head, you're done. And before you get another punch. So they're more refereed than anything else. So I would put that probably third, you know what I mean? And because they don't have any they don't have any safety equipment pretty much.
Okay.
And then you got rugby. Rugby is a big one too, but they know how to move and groove, and they're not stupid where they don't hit head on and all that. So it's a little bit safer that way. So I guess, every sport's going to have their little injuries, but none of those have massive injuries like motocross does.
Exactly.
Massive injuries where people are getting paralyzed and dying and compounded and, brain injuries and all these different things that happen in motocross, and then all that stuff has happened this year. People have been paralyzed. There's been people with brain injuries. There's been people that have died in motocross just this year, and I don't know if that happens in MMA. No. I don't know if that happens in bull riding. I don't think so. I don't think that happens in rugby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are freak things that happen in those points. Just like in bull riding, J.B. Mooney's talking about he broke his back. And it's a huge deal that he broke his back. Son, you broke maybe two vertebrae, cracked them.
Yeah.
No. We're paralyzed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have rods and screws and this and that and permanently fucked up for the rest of our lives. Right? When is the brain injuries that we have and stuff like that. So that is where where motocross takes the cake, I would say before MotoGP, Formula One, but now they've gotten so safety oriented with suits that blow up and the halo on the cars and all that. And it's hard to get hurt that way,
Okay.
So, so I don't even know what else would be dangerous, in my mind. Football? No.
Okay.
That ain't dangerous.
And yet they have a players union.
Yep.
They have a forced retirement program for all their players, no matter where you are in the sport. You're automatically in the...
You're talking football?
Football.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
You're in the retirement program.
Yeah.
And yet the most dangerous sport, which is motocross, has no retirement program.
No, zero.
No support program outside of charity. You got, I'm thinking like Road to Recovery is one.
Yeah, but again, you have to be seriously hurt.
Yeah,
you have to be seriously hurt, to get the money to get the support. But once that person collects the money, they're on their own. Here's your money for your doctor bills. Oh, but now you're addicted to OxyContin. And now you're addicted to heroin or whatever they're giving you. Oh, well, we don't even check on you after that. So that's the thing. It's like, we'll give you money, but we're not checking on you, how your recovery's coming, how you're rehabilitating, how you're rehabbing.
Okay.
We're not checking on you if you're by yourself and now you're starting to get hooked on these drugs at 16 years old, whatever. So there's nothing there. It's kind of like, okay, cool. We did our part. We gave you money. Now you're on your own.
So this last week, one of your riders, Austin Fortner, announced that he underwent brain surgery due to the fact that he had apparently a cluster of blood vessels in his brain that could have the potential of popping and exploding. How does that affect him as a rider going through training in this process? That's one question. Number 2 question is, how often does that kind of happen to where you see a rider that could get in that situation?
Well, his situation isn't from riding, isn't from crashing. Okay. It's more, it was hereditary, I guess, or whatever, Okay. So that's his. It wasn't from a big crash or anything like that. Now, a big crash could make it, more of a problem. So they just kind of went in there and fixed it because he could have a problem just sitting here doing a radio show. Oh, if it bled, you know what I mean? But again, hitting your head is only going to make it, make that percentage go up more.
Yeah.
And so, so I don't think, it's not really a worry on the motorcycle. And now there's not a worry because they took care of the problem. And so now he just needs to heal and you'll see him back on the motorcycle,
Okay.
But yes, there is kids and people that have had brain bleeds and brain injuries and been in comas and stuff like that, and that are coming out of them and, not all the way there, and they're not going to all be all the way back at all, but what about those guys? So that's the only thing is just like my whole problem with the sport is just that we're dirty tear-offs once we're done. You just flop on the ground, and nobody cares. Nobody cares, do not care at all. It's like it's so bad that you can't even get a pass to go into a race sometimes.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, it's like for me or whatever. It's like, hey man, well, we don't know if we have any passes. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. And so most all other sports, if you've put yourself on the line and you are one of those top guys that made the sport progress, well then they're taking care of you. They're giving you tickets. They're putting you in front row. They're doing these things. If I go ask for a ticket, they put me, they give me a ticket just in the normal stands. Then I have to go get maybe a Monster can to get in the fucking pits. It's like, it's a joke, Okay, I wasn't a Supercross champ or this and that, but dude, I won the Motocross of Nations. I served the team 3-4 times,
Yeah.
I was in the era that made the sport grow. So, but it's everybody. It's everybody. And that's where the sport is kind of gone wrong because it's just, again, so full of greed. It's full of greed and fear. Greed of, I need everything right now, and fear that this could be my last race, my last time, my last whatever.
Yeah, do you think the sanctioning bodies feed on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the system feeds on that because they just know that there's going to be someone new. There's going to be someone new. Even the teams are bad. They get these young kids that come up out of amateur. Okay, we'll give you a ride. The kid doesn't perform, then they throw him away.
Yeah.
Right? They throw him away. And it's not that they can't do it. You just didn't give them a chance. They weren't ready. You brought them up too soon. But since they couldn't do it for you right then, you said, get out of here. So the perfect example is Masterpool.
Okay.
He had a ride. He lost it. Oh, well, he's done because he didn't perform that 1 year. Privateer. Yeah, he's okay. You give him a good bike. He won the 3rd to 4th race he was on.
Yep.
That's telling you something. There's a lot of guys out there that have that potential, but they just were brought in too soon, and everybody's so greedy for fucking results that they'll just throw this kid away without giving him a chance. You know what I mean? And then after a kid's been hurt or someone's been hurt and that guy can't ride anymore, they don't care anymore. All these guys that are rolling around in wheelchairs, they didn't get shit, man.
Yeah.
They don't get shit. Not a single penny, not a single thing, not a single anything. You know what I mean? It's almost like they don't want to deal with them.
There was a rider that you trained when I first started palling around with you. His name is Noah.
Yeah.
And you were giving that same scenario about Noah when you first got with him, and you said, I'm trying to slow him down. Mm-hmm. I want to get him better equipped as a rider and as a racer before throwing him into that pit of sharks, so to speak. Was that due to the fact that you were more concerned with Noah's safety than you were with, the system in general?
I'm never concerned of his safety.
Okay.
Just him getting into it too soon and not being ready for it mentally, emotionally, and physically.
And that's
because it doesn't matter. You could be 25 years old, the best trained, the best this, mentally strong as an ox, blah blah blah, and you still can get hurt. It doesn't matter. It's not, oh, I want to keep you safe. No, that's you can't do that in motocross. You can't live in a glass house.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You gotta, if you're gonna race motocross, you gotta just take all that might, could, would, should, don't want out the window, and you just perform. But he just wasn't ready mentally, emotionally, or physically.
Okay.
So it's like we put him into one race. This is okay. Where you at? This is what we got to work on, and he just was not ready at all. So then we backed it off. And then he just had some injuries and some bad things happen, and that was perfect. It was actually a blessing for him to have that. It was a blessing for him to have this hard road before he got into the pros, because it made him so much more mature. So when I work with him now, what impresses me the most is his maturity that I see on the track. Not technique, not speed, not anything. I always tell him, dude, hey, that maturity is what we've been missing. That maturity is what's going to get you to the top, because you have your technique is pristine. You know what I mean? You're naturally fitter than everybody out there pretty much, because he's just naturally has a good engine. But he just wasn't there mentally, emotionally, and he was small. So we've had to wait on that, and then we had to wait longer just because of some injuries and some things that have happened. But, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I just think about, what you're doing for those riders that are in that situation where you're slowing them down and you're controlling their advancement, so to speak, because you're looking out for their best interest as a coach. How many other coaches out there are, would you say, doing what you do versus what the sanctioning bodies want?
That's hard to say, because I don't ever have deep conversations with any other coaches or how they go about their riders.
Okay.
But again, I think most are greedy for results. Look at me. Look who I train. Look what my rider did. Let me put my arm around him. And I've never been that, because, a lot of coaches haven't really been at the top. So they're trying to just get recognized. And so I've never had to really deal with that, because I've been recognized. And so it's always been kind of like, let's do this right. But the more, the older I got and the more experience I got, the more concerned I was with that, because I saw how, motocross isn't, to be good at it, it's not just a one-shot thing. It's a long road, right? So you got to be in it to be good at it. You're not just going to be good at it right when you get into it. You're not going to be good at it just for 1 year. You're not going to make anything that's memorable just being good 1 year. A legend is there. It doesn't matter if that person wins a lot or champions or whatever. It's how long that guy's been into the game is what, to me, creates a legend in motocross. So let's say like even Kyle Chisholm. And super fast. But you can call him a legend because he's been in the sport for so long. And anybody that can withstand and deal with this sport for that long, you get that badge,
Yes.
Just because, like even, let's say somebody has come and won one championship or a couple Supercross 250F Supercross championships, then left the sport or not there, they're not legends. They're just good, fast racers. But a legend is a guy that has put his time in, and that's what it is, not how many races and nationals you win.
So I'm looking here at Kyle Chisholm's race stats right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's ranked 24th in 450, and his best finish was 20th.
Yeah.
And he's got 12 points on the entire race circuit.
Outdoors?
Yeah, outdoors right now.
Yeah.
So that just that lends to what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, because again, you're going to look at those results and be like, I hate to say it, but those are nothing. If I was racing and I was getting 20th, I'd have shot myself.
Okay.
But he's been in there for how many years? 12 years or more?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been here for a long time. So to me, that creates a legend.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I think of riders like him, Joey Savacci, Max Anstey, Dean Wilson. They're all the guys that are the middle pack group that put in the time. Like I think of Dino, for instance.
Yeah.
Dino's put in his time, man.
Yeah, Dino's put in a lot of time. He's definitely a legend, but he won a championship. But that was, 2017.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
So you could, if he would have won that, then maybe quit a couple years after, he would have just been a champion, not a legend. But now you look at him as a legend because he's put his time in. It's like someone going to 3 wars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just I made a quick stint into the Gulf War. No, this dude's been in the Vietnam and this and been through them all and went through from when they started to the end. It's kind of that same thing. So that would create a huge legend.
Every single campaign he's been there.
Yeah.
Involved.
Yeah.
Now, a question, speaking of that middle pack, because normally we're only talking about that first top 5 group of riders in a pack. And now we're actually getting into the meat of the pack. How important, as a former, rider / coach, is that middle of the pack in your opinion?
I mean, you have to. Every sport, is going to have middle of the pack. Formula One has middle of the pack. MotoGP has middle of the pack. Tour de France bicycling has middle of the pack. You're always going to have that because you have a group of riders. Even if there's 10 people, you're still going to have middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Right. So that's always going to be there. You don't have middle of the packs when you're doing stuff one-on-one, like let's say boxing, MMA. I would say even football, you have middle of the pack teams.
Yeah.
Right. These guys are, ranked 15th or whatever. So you're going to have that all the time. So it's very important because you got to fill the gates,
Yep.
And you got to give people opportunity. And there's great racing in middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
And so like in Formula One, they kind of almost separate it. It's like the top teams, then these teams, and then the bottom teams. It's kind of like they're battling each other that way, and these guys are battling each other because they're never going to get to the top that way.
Let's take a quick break. We're running really late on time right now. Let's take a quick break. We will be back. And when we come back, I want to ask you about middle of the pack. And when a lot of these teams are being formulated, because that they're not going to be top 10 or top 5, people on the pack. But yet, how would you structure that middle of the pack? How important would you do that via time, or what that would be? But let's come back and talk about that.
Okay, we are back answering texts real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Got my workers. I have some new goats, and I'm not very happy with my goats.
Oh, I got new goats.
I got some goats, man, and they won't let me pet them, so kind of worthless.
Oh.
So I said, well, if you're not going to let me pet them, then I'm going to eat you.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Now, do you sit down and talk to the goats?
I try to.
Okay.
So, yeah, I tried to. I wanted to pet them, but they wouldn't let me pet them because they just kept running away. All right. So I was like, well, I'm going to take this into my own hands. Oh. And I kind of cornered them, and then they ran by, and one of them jumped, and boom, I grabbed them by the neck. Bah, threw them on the ground. And so I could pet them. I'm like, see? Don't you like that? I don't know if he liked me grabbing him by the neck, threw him on the ground, but at least I got to pet him.
All right, okay.
So I would need to get baby ones that you can raise that way, because what I want people to come over and be able to play with the pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now they got horns on their head, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so when does a goat get their horns?
I don't know. A couple years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, but
who knew I could actually talk to Ryan Hughes about
goats and sheeps and stuff like that. Yeah, goats, sheeps, chickens. I have ducks. Yeah, one of my ducks died the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, but she was. I don't know. My workers brought me some ducks over, and one had they had a limp leg, and the other ducks, I don't know. I think it was a female, but I think it was just an ugly duckling.
Okay.
And the crazy thing is, they're trying to kill it. Like I'd watch it, they're trying to kill it, like get on top of it and just eat it almost, like the back of the head. They'd push it away from the water, push it away from the food.
Really?
Keep it in the sun.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like I had to rescue it. Okay, put it in the chicken pen, try to get it to come back alive, and I'd help it. And then one day, I think all the pets were in because this girl that I'm seeing, her daughter went in there, and all the pets ran into the chicken coop, and then they left. And then I was walking, I see the ugly duckling dead.
Ah.
Yeah, so I had to pick her up and put her on the side of the road.
Ah,
is what it is.
It's interesting.
Nature.
It's nature. In nature, there is a pack mentality, which is survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And yet, as humans, we have this weird compassion for things that are not necessarily, able to handle themselves, which is interesting. That's one of the things that makes us
it's
different.
like we're this world now is more concerned about the weak and the unable than the strong and the ones that can survive. Those are the ones that are almost like, oh, you're egotistical, or oh, you're whatever it is. But if you're weak, untamed, can't do shit on your own, homeless, oh well, let us give you everything.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Sorry, you're in this situation. It's bad.
It's bad.
You know, that's the way I look at it, right?
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. And the other thing is like how animals have sex, man. Dude, ducks and chickens, they're brutal.
Really?
Brutal. Like they just jump on the back of that damn thing, they claw it, and they bite it on the back of the head. I'm like, holy shit, man. But I guess that's because there's no love involved, you know? Or there's no
I'm thinking you're like, I've been doing this all wrong.
I know. Yeah. But there's no pleasure involved, I guess. You know, so humans, you know, there's some love and there's pleasure involved, so we want to take our time, we have all this cool shit to do. But, you know, if we didn't have that, I feel our sex would be the same. You know, we just grab a chick, throw them on the ground, get it done and be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's animalistic.
Yeah.
It's animalistic, not anything else, right?
It's programmed into their DNA to
But
procreate.
some girls kind of like, you know, hey, I told one girl that about my goat story, and she's like, oh, are you trying to make me jealous? I'm like, damn, girl.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know.
By the way, how long have you been in animals, just out of curiosity?
That's not a very nice question. How long you been into animals? No, like, yeah, of course we've all had dogs and cats and shit like that, but I had a pig, but I had to get rid of it. It wasn't working, you know?
Okay.
So this last year or whatever, I got some goats and sheep and stuff like that. So my whole idea with my training now, and what I want to do is bring people to my place, and it's like an immersion, you know, where they get into my ice bath, they get into my sauna, they eat my food, I make them my green drink, you know. Then my plan is to be able to feed people from my property too, the eggs that come from the chickens, you know, milk the goats and the sheep for milk and like that. And I have my garden for the vegetables and my fruit trees and all that. So it's a process. You can't just make that shit happen in 1 year. It takes time to make all that stuff happen. So I'm in the process of doing it, and now in the process of, you know, I think, this weekend I'll have the first client come in and start this retreat kind of thing that we'll do. And so, you know, they come in and stay at my place. They go through my stuff. We run the trails, you know, eat the foods that I do. We do yoga. I take them riding to the track. I teach them technique. You know, we sit by a fire. Whatever, we talk, because some people might have some mental issues, you know, some, not mental, but like emotional stuff they're going through, divorce or injury or lack of direction. And I've gone through it all, you know. Yeah. Maybe they're have a little bit of a habit that they want to get rid of, and you know, I've gone through that too, where I've had to get rid of habits, and so that's what I want to do, is bring people in, and so because everybody knows me, I want to get to know them.
Yeah.
And then, because the motorcycle wins the race, but what rides the motorcycle? The body. Well, what makes the body? Your lifestyle. So let's say everybody wants to go fast on a motorcycle. Okay, but let's go back to the roots and make sure your lifestyle, make sure all those spokes are tight or torqued to the same tension, so we have a straight path and not some wobbly ass wheel, and you're trying to go fast on a motorcycle. Because that's where I feel what's missing the most in motocross right now is lifestyle. Okay. People eat like shit. Yeah. They have no confidence. You know, emotionally, they're all up, down, and sideways. Right. Their sleep patterns, what they're hanging around, what they're watching. You know, people are addicted to porn, eating shit food, not sleeping at the right times. You know, addicted to social media. And then you're trying to ride a motorcycle to its true potential. Nah, ain't gonna work. You know, so that's what I want to start basing on, because again, I brought a lot of this gym training and functional training, and I brought technique on the motorcycle in, you know, nutrition in, organic, all that, and then yoga, you know, brought that in to get that. So now it's like, you know, let's focus on lifestyle. Let's make sure that's good, and that can happen, and that can help not just with, you know, the pro, it can help with the vet also. Yeah. You know, again, let's, you know, like everything has like its own how can I say it, like style or family or group or whatever, like, CrossFitters. I'm a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a cyclist. And CrossFitters, they eat this way, look this way, treat this way. Cyclists, they kind of look this way, eat this way, da-da-da. But motocrossers, there's not really like a lifestyle. It's just like, oh, I ride motocross. Yeah, but you don't eat right, think right, act right, train right. You don't do that like a motocrosser. You're only a motocrosser when you go to the track. After that, you're just lazy. You're a lazy fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and you're wondering why it's so dangerous, and you're wondering why you don't get any better. So again, if you can, a lot of people don't have discipline in their life. It's very easy to be disciplined in something you have passion for. If you don't have passion for it, it's hard to be disciplined. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So if I can teach you how to be disciplined through an activity called motocross that you love, well, it's going to be much easier to push this away, bring this in, forget that, and honor that. And how you do anything is going to how you do everything. So maybe that'll start feeding out into everything else you do in your life. But you have to start one place. And if you can start somewhere where you have passion, it's going to be so much easier to adopt that idea. But if I just said, hey, do this, and there's no reward for it or goal for it or reason why, you're gonna get the normal person, B-cup titties and little bellies. That's most men nowadays, right?
Wow.
B-cup titties and little soft bellies.
Wow, I can't believe you're telling me that. I'm feeling a little self-conscious now.
No, it is what it is. We're human specimens.
Yeah.
We're human specimens, not just a guy and a girl, and who knows now? You got 45 different types of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, there's man and there's woman. Done. Sorry, guys.
So one of the unique things, by the way, about motocross, I think when you were talking earlier about they're bringing back the female division. I don't think you're gonna have a trans division in motocross.
No. That will
just
never.
Don't think it's gonna.
That
happen.
will never happen. You're never gonna have a trans. There's not one way a guy that now says he's a girl gonna race in the female. The guys won't allow it.
Yeah.
The other guy, I don't feel that the top guys would allow it. Because if I was at the race and I saw that, I'd stand right in front of the guy's bike and the starting gate and say, no, bro, no, don't even fucking think about it. You're never going to take anything away from these girls. I'll sit here till you run my ass over. You can come and arrest me. I don't give a fuck. I will not leave. You will not take anything away from these girls, you sorry ass pussy.
It's one of the good things about this sport, I think.
Yes, and because I think the Honda team in Canada put all the flag colors on their bike for a race.
Yeah.
Oh, they shot themselves in the foot. They're like, why are you bringing this into our sport?
Yeah.
Why? There's no need for it here. And everybody can do what they do, think what you think, feel what you feel, dress as you dress, but you do not need to bring it into the sport. Do not.
100%.
And there's no room for it. There's no need for it. We race motocross. Done. Yep. Let's leave it there. We don't need to have to promote this or stand up for this or be politically correct for that. No. It has no rule, no reason in it.
I think one of the
if a guy's gay and racist, then be gay and race, and who cares?
Yeah.
If you're trans, then go beat the boys.
Yeah.
You just got beat by half a bitch. You know what I mean? Right? I would, if I was going to go that way and say, hey, I'm a tranny and I want to be a girl, well, I'm not going to go beat up on what I want to be. You're beating up on what you're wanting to be, a girl.
Yeah.
Why don't you go show the boys that, hey, I still can kick your ass with these new titties I just got.
It's funny because Bruce Jenner said the same thing. Who's now Caitlyn Jenner, but Bruce Jenner said the same thing. Like it's physically not even a fair competition. When a man transitions into a woman.
I mean, dude, watch the women's racing compared to the men's racing. It's sometimes it's like, whoa, you don't realize what a difference a man's physical dominance is compared to a woman's.
Yeah.
But that's where the difference is. You know what I mean? Again, and that's where the difference is we don't make babies.
Exactly.
Okay? They have this special geno or whatever that they can make babies.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's the same thing. It's like they can make babies that they can create life that we cannot even come close to, not even identify with. But it's almost the same difference in sports.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I see like a woman, riding on the track, and then the top guys there at practice just right by them, jumping over them. It's almost like I want to ask them, like, what does it feel like to think that you're hauling ass and all of a sudden these guys just come by and just so fucking aggressive and so fast? I mean, is it like, whoa? Is it like kind of like a shock, I would imagine, having that much of a difference, right?
So this brings me to what it's funny, we're now 13 minutes or so into this next segment. We didn't even address the end of the last segment, so to speak. And the end of the last segment, I was asking you about the middle of the pack. And when riders are, that middle of the pack level of rider, as a coach, and you get, let's say you get a middle of the pack style rider, as your job as a coach, is it to make them advance in the pack? Or is it always to say, you need to be, battling Jet Lawrence for number one?
No, I mean, nobody wants to be in the middle of the pack. Nobody wants to be in the middle of the pack. Everybody wants to be in the top.
But it's important to have a middle of the pack.
Well, it's not important. It just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. Your bike's not good enough. You're not fast enough. You're not fit enough. You're not talented enough. You're not willing to put it on the edge enough. That's what it all is. It's not anything else.
Or riding injured.
Because everybody wants to be top guy. Everybody wants to be top 5.
Yeah.
All this. So you see, like last year when there was nobody in the class and these guys were getting top 4s and top 5s, everybody was like, oh my God, they're doing so great. And they were so pumped. Yeah, because 9 guys were gone.
Yeah.
But still getting that position, how pumped they were. Even though that 9 guys were gone. It's kind of like, again, Masterpool, how good he did last year. Yeah, but there's so many guys gone. If you had all those guys in there, then drop. Then, okay, now he's 11th. Oh, yeah, he didn't do that good. Right?
Okay.
So there's always going to be middle of the pack, and it's not that, and no team out there wants to be middle of the pack. They just don't have the budget or the equipment to get the rider that can be at the top of the pack. So they just have to settle for middle of the pack. But everybody's training, everybody's, the teams are spending everything they can on the best bikes, and those guys are out there every single day riding, training, being the best they possibly can. But with what they have and what they're offered, that's maybe all they can do.
What's the best underdog story that you can recall in your career?
I would say this last one with Masterpools is up there.
Okay.
That one's up there. I was really good to see that, but I wish he gave himself a little bit more credit.
Got it.
I mean, come on. I don't care. I mean, you guys can get all the religious people and stuff like that. Glory to God, glory to God, glory to God, glory to God. Okay, what about the guy that was glory to God and broke his leg? Nobody's taking credit. Dude, you're the one that had to go through your brother's death. You're the one that wakes up every single day. You're the one that goes through the injuries. You're the one that goes through the blood, sweat, and tears. You're the one that, sacrificed all this. You're the one that took the chance to do this. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know where that comes in. I'm sorry. I've never known where that comes in, because, God was there maybe to create you. But then after that, I mean, what are you that are you that egotistical or that pompous that you have to say, "Oh, glory to God," because I won, but nobody else, nobody else is, or God's not helping anybody else?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I know I'll piss a lot of people off, but this topic I could talk a lot about, man. People don't know this side of me. I know a lot. I read a lot and study a lot, but I don't know. I think, because that's the thing is everybody wants to put the blame on something else and never want to take the praise.
Okay.
Look at it. Oh, it's because of this, or the praise, is because I was so blessed by something else. No, you're fucking good, dude. And you worked your ass off. Just take it. Be proud of it.
Own it.
Own it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No, you're the one that took the dollars out and gave it to that hooker. It wasn't the devil. It wasn't evil. It was you. Right?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. But people don't want to look at it that way because they're immature. They're children nowadays. The most what's a child's favorite question? Or
why?
What question word? Why?
Why?
Because they're in wonder. Everything's so new.
They're inquisitive.
Wow. But once we get wise, once we get smart, once we get knowledgeable, what do we start doing? Believing. And belief is death. Belief is like morphine to the masses.
Okay.
What Nietzsche says. If you guys know Nietzsche.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Know who
You
Nietzsche
know what I'm
is.
saying?
I know Nietzsche.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. And so my always question is why? Hey, Ryan, you should believe in this. Why? Not too many people have answers when you ask why.
100%. 100%. You see, I would counter that with one other word, though. And there's a word that kind of keeps us.
Well, if kids, no.
Yeah, kids, no. But,
no, that's their favorite word too.
Yeah,
no.
But I would also say humility is also something that makes some of the best into the best because they have a level of humility because they have perspective. Yeah. They're seeing the big picture.
Yeah, they're humble.
They're humble.
Very humble.
They don't come at any given situation with a level of arrogance, but they come at it with a bit of that wonderment and appreciation for it and an understanding that you definitely have to put in that work in order to get to that next point. But part of putting in that work is having the humility to at least step back for a second and say, and
I think, you're never going to be good at anything without a big ego. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's the building blocks.
Yeah.
But that big ego needs to be humbled also. Needs to be humble also.
Exactly.
Like, hey, you could say it's an ego. I wouldn't say it's an ego. It's more of a self-trust, a self-knowing. That's the difference. That's the difference in Jet. That's the difference in Deegan right now. Everybody, because I ask people and hey, well, man, I wonder what do you think Deegan's doing different? Oh, this is what I hear. I think it's ridiculous. Oh, his bike's better than everybody's because his dad has so much money. Okay, so his dad has so much more money that he can buy better stuff and find better stuff than Pro Circuit, Factory Honda, Factory Kawasaki, Factory KTM. Even Star is not giving their riders the best stuff.
I could have told.
Are you kidding me?
I
think that's the most idiotic thing anybody could ever say. Again, an excuse, not giving the praise to Deegan that he's doing something different mentally or approach-wise than everybody else. No, it couldn't be him. It has to be because his dad has so much fucking money that he's buying something that all these factory teams cannot get. That's ridiculous. No, the kid trusts in himself and he knows everybody below him is believing they can. There's also disbelief and belief. Man, today I believe I can do this. And he's going to the race going, I know I'm winning. Jet Lawrence is going to the race going, I know I'm winning. Everybody else is believing and hoping that they can and nothing goes wrong. Because in belief, there's disbelief, and hope, there's fear.
100%.
On the other side. So that's the thing is like these guys have a different mentality, not that their bikes are any better. That just to me, that's just ignorance to think that. No, this kid is badass, dude. So
100%.
Say that and now figure out why he's so badass, not that, his equipment. Okay, I'll guarantee you put any other little motherfucker on that bike, he's not going to do what he does. No. Sorry. But that's what I hear.
One thing I will say about Deegan, especially in our situation, he also has humility to the point to where he'll walk right up to the radio station, sit down with us, and have a great conversation.
Well, I think the humility comes with he's okay with making mistakes.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing is that being humble is being okay to fail. He's okay failing. He doesn't have the fear of failure. But when he does fail, no problem. Yeah, I crashed and I had a shit race and this and this. He's not finding excuses. Oh, my bike and my tire and somebody else and I woke up with a little bit of a butt ache today. No, dude, he's owning his shit.
Yeah.
And that's all, dude. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing around him, I don't really care for, but I can't deny that this kid's kicking ass. And I'm not going to make an excuse for him or something that, his bike's better. No. He's kicking your ass because of what is in him and how his approach is.
He's doing the homework.
Yeah, so that's the way I look at it,
So as a trainer, and you've been down this road training, and you get a new rider in, do you have a level of expectation for that rider? Like, I want to see this. He's a number 11 rider who came in. I want to see him by the end of the season get up to number 8.
No, I don't ever put results on people. I just try to fine tune them as much as I can and allow those results to come out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Allow those results to come out because if my vision say, okay, I need you to get here well, then I might be missing a lot of stuff and just be greedy to get you there, but now not helping you for the rest of your career, meaning that we didn't cover the bases. So if I want to get a rider good, well, then I got to look at the root system. You know, the root system. If I just want him to do good in one race, well, then I'm going to water the leaves and just, dude, we're going to focus on going fast. I don't care how it happens. I don't care what you got to do. But when it's only one race, we're going to win, and that's it. But if I want this kid to be good, because, and okay, let's say this kid is great in the sand. Okay, and we come up with a sand track. Okay, cool. I can get this guy to maybe win on the sand track. But then now we go to hard pack and we go to rough and we go to ruddy. He sucks.
Yeah.
He can't do it. So to be good, you need to be able to perform in all different conditions, all different situations and scenarios. So I need to water those roots to make sure that happens. Any scenario you comes in, boom, you have an answer for. Any situation or condition, you have the technique and the ability to change and adapt with it. That's making a good rider, not just somebody can ride one condition really well and one situation really well when all the stars and everything line up, right? So that's what I try to do, is do that, and more kind of like a lifestyle, you know. I changed their lifestyle. You can talk to Jason Lawrence, you can talk to Josh Hill, you can talk to Josh Grant, you can talk to anybody I've ever trained about how they talk to me about how much I really help them in life more than just on the motorcycle, because a lot of stuff that I said comes out now.
Let's take a quick break and we'll come back, because I have some questions regarding the Hill brothers.
Okay.
And I have some other questions regarding watering those roots. So last break, you mentioned that you've trained, you know, the Hills, and you've trained obviously Austin Faulkner,
Langston, or Cincerello.
Yep.
You know, over in Europe, you know, I've trained a lot, but a lot of people, I mean, I pretty much trained the whole sport because everybody's riding the way that I was called crazy when I started talking about this technique.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, Ryan, crazy, talking about the technique and this and that. Oh, nobody's riding any different than that right now. So,
is different always crazy, or is different?
Well, to people that can't see outside the box, the people have blinders on, that people don't want to be challenged, the people that don't want to change. Yes, difference is crazy.
Okay.
Those are the people that are sheeples. They're walking down the belief road, you know? And to me, belief is weakness. You know, and they're not willing to look outside. They're not willing to question. They're not willing to challenge themselves. They're not willing to poke holes in things to see if it's right. You know, they're blindly just following shit. And that's weakness to me. It's like superstition. A superstitious person is weakness to me.
Okay.
Oh, that blue and red sock you wore gave you good luck and made you win. Oh, but now you crashed and broke your leg.
Hold on, I got to change the blue and red sock. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. You're changing your blue and red sock.
Yeah, I got it.
But now that you broke your leg, and with your blue and red sock, what are you going to do now? Pick up something else and have some other, put
the lens cap in my right pocket.
Yeah, make sure you don't want to walk crooked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but superstition. It's for the weak-minded, I believe.
Okay.
It really is. A routine, something to get you into a groove, okay. But just to say that this is giving me good luck, come on, man. That's childish to me.
So if I trained with you, for instance, and you saw the 4 rabbit's foots that are
sticking out your butt,
on my handlebars, and then I always put my last season's glove in my right pocket when I race, you don't think that's really
I don't really think that's. I mean, I won't have anything to say about it until a bad race comes, and I say, "What happened to your rabbit feet? And what happened to your glove?"
Oh man.
Oh, but I didn't get hurt. Okay, but then you crash and break your collarbone. Then I'm gonna question you again.
Okay,
I'm gonna say why, and you're gonna have to come up with an answer. You know, that's my. You know, again, that's. So it's a good way to change people's outlook is just ask them one simple question.
Why?
Why?
So,
and most people are not gonna have an answer of why they're doing it.
So the next question I would have for you is, on you taking in new riders?
Not necessarily.
How does that process work? Do you shop the rider?
My 2 guys that I want to work with and bring them through until they're done is Noah and Austin.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of done. You know, I mean, I'm done being a parent, a babysitter. But I will train people here, you know, just little blips and this and that, and maybe do some schools. But I really want to do these immersions. I really want to change people's lifestyles.
Okay.
You know, I really want to teach them what a lifestyle of a motocrosser is. You are a motocrosser, okay? Then let's eat, breathe, drink, shit, pee, motocross, not just dabble in it, right?
Okay.
You know, just like a CrossFitter, just like a football player, just like that. Like these people are invested in that, and so you take on that lifestyle, and so that's kind of my main thing because nobody in the sport's doing it.
Okay.
You know, there's 1,000 people teaching my technique right now. Everybody is. You know, every single coach is teaching this technique that I started with.
Yep.
So, okay, then to me now it's dead. There's a lot of nutritionists out there teaching you about organic foods and stuff that I was talking about,
Yep.
right? There's a bunch of gym guys out there teaching you, going to gym, teaching you, you know, or trainers out there teaching you functional technique or functional training, this and this and this. So to me, it's dead. There's no newness in it. I want to bring in something new. I want to look in, like, you know, look in the future. I want to be progressive. So that is now trying to teach people a lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's not doing it my way and you have to believe in this and you have to think this and you have to act. No, this is just fine tuning your fucking wheel. You
Okay.
might have big spokes in your wheel. You might have skinny spokes in your wheel. You might have some blue spokes in your wheel. You might have some pink ones. It doesn't matter to me, but let's fine tune yours. You know, let's fine tune
Yep.
yours. I'm going to show you some of my stuff. I'm going to chip away at some of your other stuff, but I'm not going to make you me. I don't want anybody to be fucking me because I own that. You know,
It's your
I
brand.
own that.
It's your brand.
It's my brand. Me is me. We'll make you the best you can be, right? And if you have this belief and you have this, then that's fine with me. I could care less. Then we're going to work around other things. You know, I'm not here to change anybody. I'm here to show people and share things with people. That's
Okay.
it. That's
All
it.
right. That's
And if my showing and sharing changes you, then cool. If it doesn't, well then, hey, I did what we're supposed to do. Share. That's what human beings are supposed to do, is share. The first ingredient for us to come down here is to learn. Once you learn, you grow. And whatever you grow with, you usually share with, right? You learned how to do radio, okay?
I'm not very good.
You're not good at it. I know
I'm
you're
not
terrible.
I'm
but
not that good.
I'm dude, people are trying to listen.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
But you learned radio,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay, you learned it and you grew with it, getting better and better and better. Now what are you doing? You're sharing with me and you're sharing it with the world.
Yes.
Okay, same with other people that got super rich. They learned something, they grew from it, made a lot of money. Now they're giving a bunch of people jobs. Okay? And so everybody comes down to this world and go, what are we here for? I think the only reason we're here is to learn. So we can grow, progress, and then we can share, which is going to progress the world, progress humanity, you know? And so that's the way I look at my coaching also, you know?
Get to that next level.
Yeah.
As some of your former students are legendary motocross riders themselves, how often do you keep in contact with those guys?
Every once in a while, you know, on the phone or this and that. But when I see the people that I've coached, you can see the respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always a handshake. There's always a hug. There's always an understanding.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody knows how invested I was, and I'm always gonna honor, you know, the people that I worked with and things like that. I'm not a daddy. Well, I am a daddy.
to your children, you are.
No, I'm a dad.
Yeah, to your
I'm
children.
a father to my children.
Yeah.
But I'm a daddy also.
Well, that's your lady.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your lady. That's your lady. That's a whole other. That's
It's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole
but
other conversation.
But no, I just. But I'm not like that have to call and keep up and keep up and keep up and keep up. No, I don't need to do that because when I see you, it's going to seem like we just saw each other yesterday. That's how I am. You know, it's going to be like you just saw me yesterday. Like nothing changed. Not any weirdness that we didn't talk or you didn't keep up with me. Dude, grow some balls. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, I'm just not that guy.
100%. So, as far as riders are concerned, is there a rider that you wouldn't work with as far as outside influences? I'm talking age, you know, like I'm pointing this out, Ken Roxon's young son, okay? Mm-hmm. He's already on a stay sick.
Yeah.
He's already riding. If Ken came to you and said, Ryan, will you coach my son in, you know, junior motocross? Would you do it?
I would, yes, I would coach him and just get, and get him, kind of dialed in.
Okay.
Because like even myself and Chad Reed talk. And
Okay.
I'll call Chad and say, hey, man, I just saw a video and, maybe look at this. Maybe look at this with your son. And he'd say, yeah, man, I've been telling him. I say, hey, maybe try this approach.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I do that, but I don't want to what I'm saying is I don't want to bring somebody through the whole ranks again. I do not want to go to this amateur racing shit. The people that are running the amateur racing can kiss my ass. They're the greediest people I've ever met, especially here in Southern California. There's one big fat guy that is ruining the sport,
Got it.
And so I wouldn't want to go through that anymore. Or just the injuries and it's just I've done it for 40 years, man.
Yeah.
Obsessively. Absolutely obsessively. So now it's time for me to move on and do things that interest me and things that just relax me and things that make me happy. Because that's really the only thing I've ever done in life is what I enjoy. I've never done anything in life that I didn't enjoy.
100%.
Ever.
100% on that.
I've turned down money. I've turned down job. I've turned down so much stuff because it wouldn't be fun. If it's not fun to me, I do not do it. I don't care because I came down to this plane to relax and enjoy, not to become something and not have something and not walk a certain line to possibly get somewhere. That to me, that's the most ignorant thing ever is that you're living this life away in this life to get to some place after this. That's like being on vacation, already dreaming about the next vacation. You missed that vacation.
You missed the whole vacation.
You missed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you're walking this line to get to this place, after life that nobody even knows about. You know what I mean? It's just to me, it's idiotic. It's fucking idiotic.
100%.
So.
Well, that has pretty much, I think you've taken up the entire show. You filled it end to end. That's what you do. Let's think about next week, because next week I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the machines and the techniques.
Okay. Yeah.
And whether or not.
Next week, let's talk a little bit about technique.
Okay.
That's my wheelhouse, and I blow people away with how deep I can get into it when I have time to do it, and I don't have to try to keep it for people's attention spans of maybe a minute, 2 minutes, like on Instagram. If you go more than that, people are like, oh my God,
Yeah.
There's people that love it, but the average is already flipped on. So if you come onto my podcast or my radio show or whatever, and you're coming on to stay on for the duration, well, then let me talk about something for 10, 15 minutes. Then I could probably blow your mind with how deep and technical I can get with it.
Right.
So I'd love to do that.
Next week, let's talk about technique. That's a good one.
Next week's technique show.
Right.
On Big 49 Radio.